Alright, so here's my daily video log. Um, I literally wasted all of my time jumping through all these hoops for a situation I already knew screwed. Claire Jordan spoke about the situation here, and of course I did listen. When I first got here yesterday, after all the BS from Jim and that other fellow, they were going to be spending the day ignoring the situation because, as always, now some of the rules out here are like with the record phones in, no video recording, so obviously there's tape of. But the thing is that the rules out here aren't protecting except for the staff, and the only thing that's protecting the staff is in trouble. So yesterday, I had to deal with, well, something innocent enough. A bunch of people acting like children, which is just stupid. Yeah, that's the way they play the they moved out. Do what? The lieutenant was in harder if he, the sheriff, and they play other people. Like some people have one, they play harder. So it's kind of totally. Well, I try to make it every day so I can mark the events, but I didn't actually get to make one yesterday because my phone. Yeah. All right. So today when I got here, there was a situation over coffee, of all things. I think that people who've endured the Hades that you endure on the streets would not. Right. So they were showing one of the ladies here was showing me how to make coffee, which is in. She overfilled the coffee thing though. Also, it happens. It's part of life. So I was standing up to do the things that she needed to do, and the coffee pot got close. So I said something, and one of the ladies here got a really bad attitude. She ran over, well, she yelled at me, "Get away!" And then, of course, as soon as I was away from it, she went and stood in between. So meanwhile, it's getting ready to overfill. All I need to do is grab the coffee, but she wants to stand there and literally stand in the way. And she stands there for probably a full minute in the way. Another lady comes and moves it and pours some of it into another decanter. I mean, it would have taken, what, 2 seconds to do that? So that lady who wanted to get in between me and do all that yelling and shouting, the coffee pot yet, literally had not touched it. So anyway, I had ended up getting yelled at by that lady, but no, later on in the evening, somebody else asked me if I could make, and that lady started yelling at me, started screaming at me, like loud. I would have been yelled at for screaming at somebody, but there's her and two other guys out here who have very crappy attitudes. Those two guys moved out of the room yesterday, which is nice. Yesterday was here. But the thing with the coffee is that that everybody else had to clean up my mess. And I said, and she just wanted to be a jerk. But not just her, those other two guys. With 6 people that all shouted or at me over something I didn't even do. 6 people, and 3 of them didn't let up. I was wanting to read. Now, of course, there's an AA meeting that's run by this. I'm going to be okay with that. The lady is me. Now, that wasn't the first scene with the lady. It was just the first main encounter towards me, and it's not the last. Now, the things that I was told I'd be able to do, like I was told my computer exactly where I have it, and that I could use it here. So I set up my computer to try to use it. I had to run around into town and come back in order to, just so I could appropriately make a video. Um, so today, having an AA meeting, I'm trying, okay? She's already been crappy 3, 4. And when something harmful happens on the TV or to somebody else, she bursts out, ha ha ha, super laughing like she's freaking Santa Claus or something. So one of the guys, he was reading the stuff off the AA list, and as he stopped and apologized because he's not very good at reading and he didn't finish. And he was serious, and she spelled it out laughing and told him he needed to get a GED. Well, that's innocuous. He has a GED. So then there was a squeaky chair, and she went on. Like, there are real problems that we have to deal with without some crazy lady snapping at us over stuff we didn't even do and things that we can't help or change. If we all have to deal with her quirks, the least she can do is deal with it. So I left. I'm not going to say the meaning, and it's disrespectful, and that's exactly crappy attitudes like that and give them a position of power. You don't get a rope when they talk about wanting to string people up. That's just not okay. Somebody's going to laugh at others' misfortune or others' inability. That's not okay. Especially like that. That is so horrible. So I did what I did. I left the city thing to do. I don't force people or presumptuous or inconsiderate. I also don't owe it to carpet. Now, whether that lady for a day or a year makes absolutely no difference to me. I am not her carpet. If other people here want to get walked over, that's on them. I will not have it to be disrespected and diminished as a human being. It's not okay for these people to be demeaning towards me. I did not be demeaning towards them. But the thing is, you have to have an outlet. You have to have some form of grievance response. I mean, it comes down to who's popular out here or who. But if the person with the seniority is a Richard, well, then that person should probably step down. With the stuff last night and the 2 guys that were the most there at the other end, I only had to put up with their attitude for a day. Today I've gotten to put up with a little bit of attitude from the literally just walked at the other end of the building, and I hope that that's good enough. Obviously, they're not willing to pursue. Now, there's also 2 women who literally complain about everything, and if they don't like you, they'll make it. Doesn't take long to figure this stuff out. It doesn't take long to figure out. It doesn't take long to figure out what their motivations are. Some of these people want to show that they're totally on the breaking the rules side. very controlling. Now, as far as the helping hands go, it's well, they got $450,000 last year for helping hands. I don't know where it went. Nobody here does. Nobody $450,000 went. There's hands like Claire Jordan, and it wasn't just Helping Hands that did this to her. Helping Hands, the local police department, the local sheriff's CARE, TFCC, and TCHC. Same had to go. The things that she had to say about these places were spot on. There's a couple of things that she was wrong about, or I'd like to say she was, because when I got here they weren't correct. But when I asked, I was, and it did used to be that way. As far as the seller goes, the reason he excused himself from his as a mandated reporter is he wanted to claim he thought it would be better for me. No, no, no. When you go to somebody because you're being abused, they need to focus on the abuse. When he came to see me in person, he should have looked at evidence then, instead of us doing what's this nut job's name? Donald. Type to me, which says, "You were okay to share my cell. Do you still have it?" Well, I only have one cell number for him, and I'm using it. So yeah, I posted up for all of you to see. Run into any evidence, any of the evidence that I've sent in you guys, or emails, any of that, send it to that number. As far as, yeah, everybody out here is being taken advantage of. Just some of them are so used, they're glad to be here. A lot of these people, it's between this and out on the streets, yeah, it's not free being here. The same risks exist here as they do out on the streets. Place to put our stuff. There's no lockers to put it in. I was out here to put my stuff in, but there's not. I've been here. I've gotten here 2 people complaining somebody stole their stuff. One of the people complaining their stuff was stolen was something that was found in the laundry machine yesterday. This one lady brought it in and handed it to the other lady. Claiming it was some sort of drug paraphernalia. It's not. It's literally for the cuticles of your fingernails. So we got people constantly wanting to run around and for very, very, very stupid stuff. And unfortunately, the people that are the tattletale bullies, they also seem to be the ones that are in charge of the groups. See, out here, they don't promote you based on decency or your ability to do your job, on how much of a bully you are. And that's not entirely true. See, there's a lady who's on vacation for a week who is super nice. Super. The problem is she's on vacation for a week. The lady who's in charge of the program, because of the safety risks and safety issues here, I did speak up. Or at least I tried to. I also tried making my phone calls this morning, which, without to do it, how's that a possibility? All of this stuff that I need to turn in, it needs to be. I mean, there's children at this place, you know? So I watch my P's and Q's as far as talking about rape, talking about murder, And that's very important. Do I have a private place where I'm sitting in a common room? Other than the commons area that I'm sitting in, go into the room that has 8 beds and no door. There's no privacy here. Unless you're in the shower, you get 15 minutes. That because it takes me a few minutes to get my clothes on and off because of my physical disability. Meanwhile, they don't accommodate your disabilities here, and they have that in their rules. And that's the thing, is that they're not going to take my disabilities. Nobody's going to make any attempt to do that, and it was inappropriate for me to. Meanwhile, this is literally the only option any of these idiots have. Why don't you go to Helping Hands, or why don't you move somewhere else? First of all, that's not legal. Against the law. Second of all, this guy Jim deciding that instead of doing his job as a mandated reporter, it would be a bunch of assumptions and did something other than his job as a mandated reporter. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm stuck out here for the whole weekend on with these folks, and most of them are really easy to get along with, but the ones that ain't, and they don't have. Right. Is I was supposed to be able to work on this stuff out here. So far, it's a pain in the brain. Also, my mouse doesn't want to work, and I have 1 minute to sit down, and of course, that's not going to work if I can't get my mouse working. Yes, sir. Come on. Like children out here. If it takes longer than a minute while I get and sued, while I be sent to Hades, without my. So I guess I'm going to have to turn the computer. Unfortunately, I'm still stuck out here with the safety issues. One of the biggest safety issues we have is people who don't want to do their job. Today was Friday. This is their last chance to try to do something before I'm stuck for the week. And that's all I can look forward to out here. Being yelled at, being snapped at, not having any privacy, not being able to speak, being yelled at by 6 people do, and then what? I'm supposed to take and the stuff I was told about. The lady wanted to get an attitude about that. Like I put it where I was. So is it? Do I put it where the staff member told? Because one of the residents wants me to, because she's offended by it. She's offended by the chair. She's offended by things that I didn't do to the coffee pot. She's literally everything. Yeah, I got to walk on pins and needles around this lady. I'm not trying to hurt anybody or screw anybody over. I'm trying to get help. Everybody else seems fit to just ignore because it's not happening to them. I give people a tiny taste of what I go through, and they flip their friggin' lid. Where then? It doesn't exist. Because you're all hypocrites. You're all backstabbers, and none of you care about anybody but you. Now this, what's his name? Donald Cody. What is his name? Donald Cody. Let me see. Donald Cody something or other. Anyway, this guy intentionally misled the situation. And then he wants to throw it on me because I didn't ask this or I didn't ask. No, you don't get to play those games. You talk over a victim and you intentionally mislead the situation, and then you blame the person that you intentionally misled because you misled them. No, don't play stupid. What these people out here have done is create a safety issue, and they didn't need to do that. When it's a popularity thing, it's got nothing to do with right or wrong, and none of these people should be getting paid. They certainly shouldn't be paid $450,000 for. God, where did they even spend that money? Where did they put that money? What did it go into? Anyway, this Cody feller, let me see. God, he types a lot. I asked him to stop and listen. Stop typing and listen. He didn't want to do that. He just wanted to antagonize. If you're not working with me, why the heck are you expecting me to work with you? Why are you telling me to do things you're just going to ignore?
Because I'm going to turn the lights off. Right, put it down.
It's all right.
You want me to
Well, they can be patient. I literally am doing this as fast as I can. I literally spent the whole day working on this.
There's no excuses for us.
It's not an excuse. The computer takes time to shut down, and all the stuff that I was told to do, I'm working on. Anyway, the Lady Grace told me to set up here and to work on this here, and it's been nonstop running around in circles like a chicken with my head cut off to appease these people with their rules. I'm a grown adult here. It's, I'm tired of getting talked down to and the condescending crap. And what am I supposed to do? Spend the rest of my life jumping through hoops to appease this stuff? I'm not able to. Now, it takes a few minutes to shut down my computer. You're just going to have to deal with it. It's not my fault that there is no adequate or appropriate place for me to do this. And it's not my fault that the rules that they have literally prevent us from getting anything done. I should have been able to do this literally days ago. I mean, there's no reason that I should have come out here to get this done. Meanwhile, all this is done is waste time, waste resources, waste energy, and of course, waste favors, because I had to ask people for help to do things that obviously I can't do for myself now that I've been screwed out of everything. Anyway, these people are breaking the law outright. They don't care about human beings out here. We're cattle, and we're treated like cattle, and there is no reason for this.